You know that feeling, right? You're staring at some huge project and it just feels impossible. Like a giant mountain you have no idea how to even start climbing. That feeling of overwhelm? It's totally real. But what if? What if you could break that mountain down into a bunch of smaller, totally manageable hills?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. It's a system called the 4-week sprint cycle. And yeah, that word, sprint, it comes from the tech world, from agile development. It just means a short, super focused period of work on one specific thing. The whole idea here is to give your project a rhythm, you know? A steady, reliable heartbeat that keeps you moving from that scary start all the way to a successful finish.
Okay, so this right here, this is our map. Take a good look. It lays out the entire journey for us. You can see it starts with research in Sprint 1, then moves on to getting that all-important feedback. After that, we're refining things in Sprint 3, and finally, we submit and reflect. We're going to walk through this step by step, and you'll see exactly how this whole cycle turns that messy, chaotic feeling into a super clear, powerful workflow.
So we're calling this the project's heartbeat, and it's for a really simple reason. It gives everything a rhythm. Think about it. A predictable, steady pulse of work, then feedback, then improvement. It's that rhythm that keeps the project moving forward and stops you from getting totally stuck.
So if you look at the big picture, the whole cycle is really broken down into two main phases. Phase 1, that's your first 2 sprints. That's all about building the foundation, right? Getting your initial ideas down and getting that first, crucial bit of feedback. Then you've got Phase 2. That's where we shift gears into polishing everything up, finalizing it, and then taking a step back to think about what we learned. So let's dive into Phase 1 first.
All right, let's get into it. Phase 1, foundation and feedback. This is honestly where the magic happens. We're talking about going from a totally blank page to having a solid first draft, something real, something tangible that we can actually build on.
First up, Sprint 1, research and drafting. Think of this as getting into the starting blocks. And listen, the goal here is not perfection. The goal is momentum. It's just about getting those first ideas out of your brain and onto the page.
So what does that actually look like? Well, step 1 is all about gathering info. You're digging into the patient's case, grabbing all the data, reading through the notes, basically just trying to get a deep understanding of the problem. Then you move on to step 2, which is creating that initial draft. And the key here, and this is super important, is to let go of the pressure. This is not the final product. It's more like a brain dump, just to get your thoughts organized and give yourself a starting point.
Okay, moving on to Sprint 2, development and feedback. Now this is where the collaborative magic really starts to happen. You're not working alone in a bubble anymore. The focus completely shifts to building on that first draft and, this is the big one, getting another set of eyes on your work. So in this sprint, you take that rough draft and you start giving it some real structure, right? You start building out the actual treatment plan. But the absolute game changer is step 2, getting that critical feedback. And look, this isn't about someone judging your work. It's about getting a fresh perspective. Someone else can spot things that you're just too close to see. It's like a course correction before you've spent way too much time going down the wrong path.
And that feedback is the perfect bridge into the second half of our cycle, which is Phase 2, refinement and reflection. So we've laid the foundation, now it's time to start polishing it up and really thinking about the journey so far.
All right, Sprint 3. The key word here is iteration. This is the point in the cycle where you're going to see your work improve fast. You're not starting from scratch anymore. You're taking something that's already there and just making it better and better, based on that really specific feedback you got.
And you can see the payoff from Sprint 2 almost immediately. Step 1 is just diving right into revisions. You're taking all that feedback and using it to make your care plan so much stronger. And once you've got that solid plan, you can start creating the final materials, like the patient education stuff. You can almost see the finish line from here.
And just like that, we're at the final sprint. Sprint 4 is all about 2 key things. 1, actually crossing that finish line and submitting your work. And 2, which is just as important, taking a beat to look back at the whole process. So first, of course, is the final submission. This is what everything has been building towards. But the job's not really done until you hit step 2, the reflection. This is where you pause and you ask yourself some real questions. What worked best? Where did that feedback really change my mind? What would I do differently next time? It's this last step, this reflection, that turns a simple project into a massive learning experience.
Okay, so we've walked through the what of the 4-week sprint cycle, step by step. But now let's talk about the why.
I mean, what makes this whole structured approach so effective? So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, first off, it breaks those huge, scary projects into small, doable chunks. It also forces you to get feedback early and often, so you don't waste time. It's all about making small improvements, iteration, not trying to be perfect on the first try. It also makes sure you reflect at the end so you're always getting smarter. And, most importantly, it creates that predictable rhythm, that heartbeat we talked about, that just lowers the stress and keeps you moving forward.
No, at the end of the day, this isn't just about one specific course or project. It's a whole framework for how to think, how to create, and how to learn, really in any part of your life. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Where in your own work, or maybe even your personal life, could a steady rhythm like this help you turn that feeling of, I'm so overwhelmed, into a feeling of, wow, look what I accomplished?